G'day, Archie crew. Hope you're having a fantastic day today and your family's happy and healthy. And hopefully you're going to have a very Merry Christmas. It's not far off now. And you get all the prezzies you want. All right, I've been getting a lot of questions about my head tracking that I'm using and how I get it so smooth. And the basic answer to that, or the quick answer to that, is a lot of trial and error. And a lot of fiddling around with different settings to get it to the point where it is as close to spot on as we can get. So what I mean by head tracking, just in case people aren't sure what that is, I'll turn it on and let you see. This is me just moving my head, looking around the screen, looking down, looking up. Now, I used to only have this set up to look left and right, so it was just what would you call it? I think it's called yaw or pitch. I think it's yaw. Anyway, I only had it set up to look left and right because I wasn't worried about looking down and up. But since I got this moving so smoothly now, I've actually got it so that I can look down, I can look up, I can look left, I can look right. And I've also got it so that I don't have to put my head on such an angle that I'm giving it myself a crink in the neck each time I try to look out the window or to the right, etc. So it's smooth and it's not overly aggressive. I don't have to move my head like nearly 360 degrees to get it to go to one side to the other. I'm only basically just moving my head a little bit without hurting my neck, see out the windows. And the programs that I used to use two programs, but now I'm only using the one which is just OpenTrack. And it does the job. It's a free program which I use, and I use it along with a cheap old PS3 Eye camera that I got off eBay for, I think it was $25 or something, and it works spot on. Now, you can use any camera that you want. You can use your laptop camera, you can use your phone, you can use a cheap webcam, whatever you prefer. I just happened to pick up a PS3 Eye cam, basically because you can zoom with it and all that type of stuff, and it was cheap. So that's why I got it, because I can't afford too much. And like I say, this to me, in this game, I've never actually used TrackIR in my game. I've used it on other people's games and tried it out, and I think this is equally as good as TrackIR. I won't say it's better, but I would say definitely it is equally as good as TrackIR, and it's very stable. It used to be, when it first came out, it used to be a little bit jittery and a little bit iffy, but now it's extremely stable. I don't have any problems with it. Now I've got it set up so I can turn it on or off. That's off. I'm moving my head around, it's off. And now I'll turn it back on with just a click of a button, and away you go. So what I'm going to do is I'll run through all the settings that I use and program that I use. Like I say, it's OpenTrack. There's two places you can get OpenTrack from, and what I'll do is I'll just, let me turn the head tracking off again. I'll bring whoops, I've got to do this. I'll bring over the first place that you can get it from, which is Softonic. Now, this is the easiest place to download it from. It's the most current version, which is, as of this date, 2023.3.0. You can actually get, I don't know what this might be an older version of it. But anyway, that's the current version I'm using, 2023 3.0. And you can download it from Softonic. If you don't trust Softonic and you prefer to get it from somewhere like GitHub, you can also get it from GitHub. Make sure you're going to this version, the latest version, and the one that you want to download to make it easier on yourself would be the OpenTrack Setup X, that fella there. All right, so again, if you're downloading from GitHub, you want to make sure you've got the latest version, and you want to download the setup.ex. That's the easiest way to do it. By clicking that, it will set it up automatically for you, and away you go. Very similar to this one. When you download it, it basically comes in a zip. I think it's a zip. I haven't downloaded it for a long time from here, but I'm pretty sure it does. Let's click download and see what it says. No, it just comes with the exe. I'll close that because I've already got it. So anyway, so you can go Softonic, like I say, or OpenTrack. I'll leave, or GitHub. I'll leave a link to both of those places where you can download it, and then you can get into it yourself, and away you go. So, all right. So, what are the settings I use? Now, the first thing and the most important thing that you have to do is in game, go to. Let me get in there. Okay, go to your system, your options, and then up in the search bar type in track, and that will bring up two things down here that have yellow dots on them, so you know that track is in those sections. Oh, excuse me. So we click on keys and buttons, and here you have enable head tracking. So in here you will bind a key that you prefer. I'm not going to tell you which ones are. These are the ones I use. I'm not telling you that you have to use these ones because I've actually got mine set up on various devices that I've got. I've got a farm stick on my right that I use, and I also use a keyboard, but I can use just the farm stick to get everything rocking and rolling. So you can enable your head tracking up here with a click of, by binding one of these buttons, and then it will turn on and off by you clicking that button. And you can reset the head tracking, in other words, center it by using one of these buttons as well, whatever you set it up for. So this is where you set up the two different buttons. I've got three, but ignore that. You only need two. If you want three, you can. It's up to you. But you just need one for enabling head tracking and one for resetting, which is recentering of your head tracking. Okay, in game. So back there we will go, back to the screen. And again, by just clicking my enable button, it enables head tracking, and away we go. Now, for example, let's say I was looking out the window here and that was the center of my head tracking. I can now click that center button and it will now center it back into the cab. All right, so that's a recenter button or the reset button. Okay, so for example, when I look straight ahead at my camera, I was looking at the side like that. That's not right. You want it so that you're looking at the straight out through the windscreen over your steering wheel. So by clicking the reset button, it resets it automatically for you. So they're the ones that you want. Now, I know right now that's not working for you because you probably haven't got it all set up. I'm just showing you that in-game first you need to set those buttons so that you know what they are, so that you can also use them in OpenTrack. All right, so now I will turn it back off again and we'll bring over the head tracker, and you get to see my ugly mug, and a lot of people want to see that. I don't know why, but there it is. Okay, so what you want to do here is the first thing you want to do, let's stop that, turn it off. The first thing you want to do is you want to set up your input, your output, and your filter. All right, very important to get these right. The one that you want, because there's quite a few to choose from, is the neural net tracker. This is the one that you want, neural net tracker. Okay, whoops, I clicked the wrong button. So yeah, neural net tracker. The next one for output, you want the FreeTrack 2 Enhanced. Again, there's quite a few to choose from. Make sure it's that one, FreeTrack 2 Enhanced. And then for your filter, you want, I think this is how you spell it, or how you say it, Acela. All right, and again, there's a few to choose from, but I found that Acela is the most smooth one that you can get. All right, so they're the three ones that you want to set. So once you've downloaded and installed it, this will pop up. You'll choose Neural Net Tracker as your input, your FreeTrack 2 Enhanced for your output, and your Acela for your filter. All right, those are the three that you want. And then from there, you'll go into your settings. Okay, and here, this is where you have the shortcuts or your key bindings. And again, remembering which ones you used in the game, you will then bind these ones in here. Okay, so whatever you use to reset the head tracking, you will bind here, and whichever one you use to turn it on and off, you will bind here. All right, so whatever buttons you use in game, you will then bind in here. Okay, so to reset, you'll click bind and use whatever button it was to reset here, and in toggle, which is the on and off switch, basically, you will then use whichever one that was to turn on the head tracking in the game. So you're making sure that these are both exactly the same buttons as you use in game. Down here you have center at startup. That just basically means that it will center the camera wherever you're looking at that time. So make sure when you do start the head tracking, you're looking directly at the camera. I've got the camera placed basically directly on top of the monitor I'm sitting in front of, and facing slightly downwards towards my face, so that it can see my head perfectly. Now, there is a bit of a caveat. If you're wearing a cap like I am at the moment, and again, once I start it, I'll show you, it may wander a little bit because it sees the cap as part of your head. If that happens, there's one of two things you can do. You can reset it so that it's centered again, or take your cap off and just use it without the cap. So center at startup, you have that enabled. Disable user interface localization, I leave that undone. Enable tray, I don't worry about it being in the tray. Minimizes tray on startup when enabled, I do that as well. All right, so centering point. I've always had that, I don't know what that means. I've just left it at default, but center at startup, and then the two key bindings in this section, shortcuts. In output, this is where you'll set your up and down and left and right motion. I used to have it so that it was disabled on pitch and only used yaw, which was left and right. But now, because I've got it so smooth and it works perfectly fine, I have both yaw and pitch, meaning left and right, up and down. I don't enable roll, X, Y, or Z. You can do that if you're using this on another game apart from ATS or ETS. For example, Flight Simulator, you may want these on as well. But that's another story. Right now, we're just talking about ATS and ETS, but this will work in basically any game that has head tracking enabled in it, and even games that don't. Some games that don't, it will work. So, like I say, yaw and pitch, if you want roll X, Y, Z, that's up to you. I'm only using yaw and pitch in this example, and only showing you the settings for that. The other settings that you'll use here are up to you, so you'll have to trial and error that yourself. But like I say, I'm showing you yaw and pitch in this one, and these are my settings that work for me. They may not necessarily work for you. If they don't, it doesn't matter. You can just play around with them, but this will be a good starting point for you to check whether or not it works for you. If it doesn't, then you can fiddle with it until you get it right. But I'm guessing it in most situations that this should work fine for you. Okay, so down here in the CSV logging, you only need to do that if you're looking at doing that yourself. Again, I leave this blank. Relative translation, disabled. I don't do anything in here. I don't even really know what this is for. I just leave it. Game detection. Okay, so now this is, I've got it set up so that it detects the game when it started and then automatically starts the head tracking for me on both Farm Simulator and American Truck Simulator. I also had it on Euro Truck Simulator 2, but I've turned it off right now so that I can show you how to set that up. So the first thing you'll need to do is click the plus to add something like this. Then you'll need to click over here to find the game, and to get to the game, what you need to do is go into wherever your Steam library is. In my situation, it's on my Y drive. Under Steam library, I click Steam library, I go to Steam apps, I go to common, and then I'll find Euro Truck Simulator 2. I'll go to bin and Win64, and there it is there. Okay, so I'll do this again so that you can see how I did it. I went to Y. You can do the same for American Truck Simulator. It's just I'm showing you for Euro Truck Simulator. So Y, Steam library, Steam apps, common, and then in common, either American Truck Simulator or Euro Truck Simulator, whichever one you're doing, or both. Go to bin, Win64, and then click on Euro Truck Simulator 2 EXE or American Truck Simulator EXE, whichever one it is, and click open. And now you can see it is in there. And now whenever I start Euro Truck Simulator 2, it will start this. It will start the camera up, and it will use this config file. Now, as you can see, I've got different configs here at the moment set up for different things that I've been testing. Beam Eye Tracker, Truck World Australia. Right now I'm using this ATS ETS2 config to put in here when these start. So when Farming Simulator 2025 starts, it uses that config, and same with American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator. We'll use those configs. Now, we're sort of getting a bit ahead, but let's say okay. So that's now set up. Now, to set that profile up, you need to go through and set everything up, and then you can save it in here by just simply create new copy config. So once we have set all the settings up, come back here before you start it, and or after you've started it and then stopped it again, come back here, create new copy config, and call it whatever you want. We'll get onto that. So let's ignore that right now. So again, when you first open it, set these up. All right. Then we'll go into options. Like I said, bind your keys to center and toggle. Come in here, set your outputs up, your yaw and your pitch. Don't touch anything else. Relative translation, don't touch that. Game detection, we'll come back to that. Now here is the tracker. This is where your camera will be set up. So what you've got to do is you've got to find out exactly what the resolution of your camera is and what its frame rates are. Okay. So as you can see here, it's PS3 Eye Open Driver or PS3 Eye Open Camera that I'm using. And so you choose that from the drop down. If you've got multiple cameras, you just choose whichever camera you want in here. You'll then choose your diagonal field of view. I'm just using 50 because it works. Again, you can change that to whatever you want. It's totally up to you. Resolution, I can change it if I want, but the current resolution that I'm using is 640 by 480, and I think that's because I'm pretty sure that's all the eye camera is 640 by 480. If it's not, it doesn't matter, it's working. So, and then your frames per second, I know that this is only a 30 frames per second camera. You can choose over 30, 60 or default. I went with 30. And then camera settings, you can go in here and adjust your exposure and your gain on the camera if you want. So if it's too dark or too light, you can come in here and change it in there. Now, the next thing that you want to do is you want to start calibration. The only problem is when you try to start it, as you can see, it's grayed out and I can't get it going. So for now, we'll click OK, and then we'll go back here and click Start. So now the camera is turned on. Go back to Options, go back to Tracker. Now, as you can see, the calibration button, Start Calibration, is lit up. So you can now use it. So you must have the camera on to start the calibration. All right? And the reason you want to do the calibration is because you want the program to see roughly how far away from the camera you are. And it would do all this automatically for you. It will calculate all this for you, up, right, and forward. It will calculate roughly how far away these things are. And what you do is when you start the calibration, you move your head from left to right and up and down. And if you're doing roll and pitch and all that, you'll need to do that as well. What I do is I just move my head all over the place. So I'll start calibration. And as you can see, it'll tell me now that 42 samples have been taken, over 27 is good. Now we'll stop the calibration. It has recalibrated everything for me. And as you can see there, the numbers are slightly different because I have moved it since I last calibrated this. Down here in thread count, I've left all this at default. And this here is automatically telling you what you've got up here. As you can see, 640 by 480, 640 by 480, 30 frames per second, 30 frames per second, and 27 milliseconds. I'm guessing that's, yeah, whatever that is, it works. I'm not worried as long as it works. Okay, so again, set your camera, set your field of view, set your resolution. Again, if it's 1920 by 1080, you can do that. Set your frames per second. If it's 60, you can set it at 60. If it's 30, you can set it at 30. Click your camera settings to adjust your exposure and your gain. If it's too dark or too light. Make sure your camera's turned on. Start your calibration. Do the movements so that it calibrates for you. Leave all this alone and everything's fine. Now, one of the most important things, apart from the calibration, is your filters. All right, so in your filters, make sure your smoothing is turned right up on both your filters. On your yaw and pitch and X, Y, and Z, even though I'm not using it, I make sure that it's turned all the way up in case I do eventually use it in one of the other games that I'm using. So turn it all the way up. And your dead zone, now this is whatever you prefer. I found that the best for me is 0.01 for the yaw and pitch and roll. And I found that 0.05 for the X, Y, and Z translation is the best for me. So that's the dead zones. Again, suck it and see. Adjust it to whatever you feel is best for your situation. Now, once you've done all those things, shortcuts, your outputs, yaws and pitch, relative translation, leaving it, game, setting that up, we'll come back to that. Tracker, setting all your tracker up, starting your calibration, making sure your calibration has gone through correctly. Filters, click on OK, and now everything is set to your liking. So now we'll stop the camera, and this is now where you will, because you've done that, you can start to you can set your profile up. But one more setting before, or two more settings before you go ahead, and that's your mapping settings. So we'll come back to that. We'll go to our mapping, and in mapping, these are the settings that I've found are best for my system and should be the best for yours, but if they're not, adjust them accordingly. So the first thing I've done in here, and again, I'll go back to show you where that is, mapping under options, go to mapping, and this is where it basically adjusts the degree of movement you have to do to get it to turn fully left or fully right, or look fully up or look fully down. So by adjusting these, it will mean that you'll have to either move your head further or less to get to those points. So I found for me that 35 on the top one here is brilliant. That's all I need. And on the bottom one here, 35 as well. So both I've set to 35 on yaw. So that's the yaw setting. 180 degrees and then 35 and 35. And to move them, all you do is you click on them and then drag them. Now I've got to get it back there. There we go. So that's all you do. Clicking on that top one, 35. Now you can put a point anywhere and do a different sort of line if you want. And so to do that, you just simply hover over the line, left click, and then you can adjust the curve of the line, making it respond better or worse. I found that a more linear is better. To remove that waypoint, you just right click on it. All right, but I found that this, for me, makes it a lot smoother. Instead of trying to do a curve or anything like that, I just find it linear. But again, you try it for yourself, discover which one's best for you. Right, then on pitch, because we're using both yaw and pitch, I've got max input 90, max output 90. And on this one, I found that 22 and 22 are the best settings. And again, a more linear line, instead of putting a curve in there, I find that the more linear line makes it a lot smoother. So 22 and 22 are the two settings that I prefer on this. And again, this is my settings. It may be different for you, but again, start here, test it, see what you think. If it's too slow, too fast, you can move it to wherever you want, and you get the point. So suck it and see, find out which one's best for you and adjust it accordingly. But these are the places that I have got mine, and probably a good starting point for you. And once you've done that, click OK. So again, if you adjusted your yaw, You come in and adjust your pitch. Now click OK. Now with the camera off, you can go to your profile and create a new copied profile config, because for you there won't be anything in here because you're starting new. So we copy that, and now you can call it whatever you want. We'll just call it test. Okay, so this is now called test config, and as you can see, test config is there. So now when I go into my options and I go to game detection, if I want to use test, now I can just choose it from the drop down. But for now, I'll put that back to what I wanted on and say OK. Now to remove one of these, I'm not exactly sure how to do it. It's still be good because I want to find out if I can. Game detection. No, it doesn't feel like you can remove it. But again, that's not a real major concern. All you've got to remember is that that's how you save it. So again, to save your profile that you want to use, just come here, click create new copied config. There we go. You can open config directory. So if we open the config directory, we can get rid of it that way. So now I can delete it there by clicking on it and delete. So now it's gone. There you go. Found out how to do it. So again, to delete, you do open, choose the one you want to delete, click right click on it and delete. To save it, you would just come in here, go create new copy config, and away you go. Create new empty config means that it will set everything back to 0 basically, and you have to go through all the settings again. So don't do that. Make sure that you get a new copy config, and that way it will copy all the settings that you've just done in the tracker to make sure that they're the ones that you're going to be using. And again, once you've done that, you will then go into options, go to your game detection and set it up in here by simply clicking plus, adding the game, and choosing your config here. But for now, we'll get rid of that because these are the only ones I've got set up at the moment. So again, this is so that it will start the profile from game executable names in this list, meaning that when you start the game, it will, if you've got this turned off, it will start up for you automatically so you don't forget to do it. It will do it for you. All right, so they're the settings. So we'll run through them quickly again. So when you download the OpenTrack, make sure of course, make sure, firstly, that you've got your camera plugged in. I should have said that at the beginning. Plugged in and turned on, all right? But come in here, make sure that you choose neural net tracker for your input, make sure you choose free track for your output, and make sure you choose Acela for your filter, all right? Make sure that you can then go into your options, find the keys that you bound in the game in here. I don't know if you have to do that because by having it in game, it should work. But again, I do it anyway, just to be on the safe side. I haven't taken them off to try if it doesn't work, but I would just recommend that you do it anyway. Have it bound in here and bound in the game so that you know that you're covered in both areas. Make sure you've chosen your pitch if you want to look up and down and left and right. If not, turn pitch off and just go left and right. That's totally up to you, whichever way you want to go. Make sure you've done that. Then relative translation, nothing. You do not do anything in there. Leave it. Game detector, set it up the way I showed you. Tracker, again, make sure your camera, make sure your field of view. I'm just thinking that because I've actually got it at 180 and 90 in the actual filter, mapping, I could probably turn that up, but I'm leaving it because it works. Choose your resolution, choose your frames per second, check your camera settings if you want to adjust the brightness, then making sure that you turn your camera on, start your calibration, move your head around so that it can test it for you and find out where you are. It will then automatically set the calibration for you. Then go to filters, turn them all the way up for smoothing. Give yourself 0.01 for dead zone on the top one. Give yourself 0.05 on the bottom one. And they are the ones that I found the best. Click OK. And now you should be ready to rock and roll. Making sure your mapping is at the desired setting for you. I'm using 35 on my yaw, and I'm using 22 on my pitch. with a max of 90 degrees. And again, don't ask me if why I chose 90. I can't remember. I've been using it for so long. I just know that it works fine for me on those settings now. But you've got a choice of different settings there. I found that 180 is the best. On I found that, like I say, 90 is the best on pitch. I don't pretend to know exactly why it works, except to say that I did a lot of testing to find the right settings. Spit it out. Find the right settings to get them to work. So now that it's working, I can move it away, start the camera up, come back here, start the head tracking up, recenter it to make sure that everything is centered. My recentering button isn't working now. What did I do? It was simply that because I had been mucking around with my settings that I had to restart OpenTrack. So yeah, if you have any problems where something like that happens and one of the buttons isn't responding, just simply restart OpenTrack and then recenter your camera like that, and away you go. So as you can see, it works perfectly fine. The other thing too is with this camera setting that I've got, the 360 roof camera, I can also use my head tracking to look around on the outside as well, which is quite handy when you're checking out the scenery. So if I jump back in the cab, you can see it works fine. And I'm not busting my chops trying to crank my neck to look around. I'm just looking slightly left and slightly right in a nice smooth motion, slightly down, slightly up, slightly over at my cat. How you doing, folks? And it works fine. All right, so hopefully that I explained all that correctly. If I missed something, please let me know. And I'll hopefully be able to update it if I did. I don't think I missed anything. And also, if you did enjoy it, please give me the thumbs up. If you didn't, give me the thumbs down. Subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help me out. I really, really would appreciate it, because YouTube loves it and then they love me. And if you know of anybody who might be interested in this and benefit from it, please share it with them. And hopefully, if you did enjoy it, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.